I know we've always talked about like how we set goals and how we plan for things and all of those things, but it's so interesting to me that so many couples don't actually set goals together.
Okay.
And plan for the future and things like that, like in a meaningful way.
Okay.
Not just like, oh, we want to get a house or we want to have kids and we want to do things, but like really intentionally designing what you want your marriage to be. You know what I mean? And we talk about that so much. Like we spend so much time talking about what we want our experience in our marriage to be. Not just the stuff we want to do. And
or stuff we want to have.
Yeah, stuff we want to have or whatever. But no, this is what we want our marriage to be. This is who we want to be in our marriage. And I love that we actually spend so much time talking about that and not just, again, thinking about the doing and the having and stuff like that, but also like who we're becoming and what we're working towards and how we're doing those things and things that we're overcoming in order to become that. Like, I think that's so special because to us, it's a normal thing. But then having had the opportunity to talk to so many other different couples and you know, married individuals and seeing that it's not a normal thing, it's odd to me.
Yeah.
Being on the outside looking in and then also realizing how much of a difference that's actually made in our marriage.
Yeah. I know we were talking about earlier how like when we first met, Instagram wasn't even really a thing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, being poured into from random different sources of everything. So we didn't have any role models in person to look for advice on. We didn't have anybody on like social media.
No influencers.
So we didn't have any influence at all outside of what we wanted for each other. And we set the standard with each other.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I feel like we didn't really ask questions as far as like, you know, what kind of wife do you want me to be for you? It's just like when you're so into somebody, you kind of study them and you kind of figure out how to be what they need.
Literally.
Like it's like you'll say something to me and then in my mind, I'm like, okay, how can I make whatever this thing is he's going through easier to go through? How can I put my wifely spice on this thing and like make things easier for you? Like even when it comes to like fixing your lunch or like putting up your clothes, like you take forever to put up clothes and I'd be so irritated. So I'm like, okay, if this is an issue, let me go ahead and put up your clothes for you. Or like making it easier for you to get out of the house in the mornings, like having your freaking gym bag packed, your lunch and stuff ready. Like it doesn't bother me. It's like, no, my husband needs to get out of the house at a certain time because he needs to get to the gym at a certain time because he wants to be fit for me. So,
right.
Either way, it benefits me. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, that sounds like super, super simple, but it's like, how can I fulfill your needs in ways that you probably don't even think about? Because I've watched you so closely.
Yeah.
I be on you like this.
Literally. Like you be there. And what's crazy about that, like, is it's so amazing having a spouse who sees you in that way and who has the desire to stand in the gap in those types of ways. And it's never anything. Yeah.
I do it gladly.
And it's something that like you don't ever really talk about, but it happens. Even like in my desires to just be better for you, you know, as a husband and things of that nature. And I know we don't have the same time availability, but the fact that we use what we do have to maximize our presence and just being a part of each other's lives.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't matter what the goal is or how big it is or what we might have going on individually. We're always trying to find those ways to be able to just show up for each other and help in the ways that we can, in the most meaningful ways that we can, to show each other that we're there in the process. Because
we care about each other. Like, I care about who you are and what you need. I care about what you care about. Like, if we're married, like, I should care about the things you care about to a certain extent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, if I don't care about you, then why be married? Like, if I don't want to help you through life, why be married to you?
Right.
Like, I'm here to be your helpmate. Help me. You know what I'm saying? So I think like we both understood that from the jump. like before we got married, like we operated in a way that was like helpful for each other, even when we were friends though.
Yeah.
You know? Does that make sense? I don't know. You're looking at me kind of weird.
No.
Or you thinking?
I'm processing what you're saying.
Yeah.
Because when I think about it, it's things that we didn't know intellectually, but intuitively we actually understood it.
Absolutely.
And like I was telling you before when we was talking, I knew that I wanted to like set the standard as far as any male that was in your life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when I knew that I wanted you to be my wife, even I think before I knew that I wanted to set a standard for who I was being in your life. Even if we were to end up together or not, I knew that you were somebody I wanted to have in my life for the long term. And I wanted to be the best version of me possible for you and for me. And I can say it like that because, again, just keeping it in context, I had came out of a season of my life where I had really lost myself. And I needed something bigger than me to help guide that. And you were that influence that showed up at that time. Because I ain't really have much else at the time as well. So you really did like come in and become a resource to me that made me really just want to like get back on my grind and just becoming better and being better and wanting to have somebody in my life. I'm like, bro, I got to this point to where I just realized in being around you that you just made me want to be better. Like I liked who I was being when I was with you. And that was transformational. Yeah. Especially when you came out of a season of your life to where you're trying to just portray an image to everybody. And then finally having somebody who actually just likes you for you. And it was like, nah, I don't need you to pretend. I don't need you to be all of this flashy stuff and have this whole persona about you. Like, nah, I just like you. Yeah. I like the regular you. Like, you don't have to be the way that you have been for all of these other people. You don't have to perform. You ain't got to perform. Right. And so I had came out of a season where it was all performance. And I knew that because I ain't like me. I ain't like all the stuff that I was doing. And then, of course, just keeping it in context, you didn't know none of this. Yeah. You didn't know none of this, but this is the type of stuff that I was dealing with. Yeah. And to have somebody who just helped me find the person that I knew I was supposed to be was dope. Yeah. And that changed everything. Like when it came to the goals that I was setting, the things that I wanted to pursue, how much more serious I wanted to take who I was being and all of those things. And then when we finally got together, realizing that it only intensified all of that for both of us individually and together. Yeah. And finding that way to be able to mesh those things together to where now we're pursuing a shared goal and vision and we're supporting each other. We actually care about each other on the individual level and collectively. Like, to see what that's grown into to this point now, it's like, man, this is amazing. And the fact that we still future pace our relationship and our character and who we're being and how we're showing up for one another and serving and caring for one another. Like, bruh, how did we get here?
How? You know, and that's funny that you say, like, how did we get here? Because, like, even for me, it's hard for me to articulate how we got here because we just did it. Like, it's just certain things that we knew intuitively to do. So even with me trying to make wife content now, I'm like, dang, how did I do that? Like, how did we become what we are? Like, how did I learn how to be the wife that you needed and wanted it? Like, what, how, you know? So like, that's a really good question. Like, how did we get here? But we got here through just the start of just caring. Yeah. Just caring enough, being interested enough, and just wanting to contribute to each other.
And I think having a compelling future really can contribute to a lot of that well. Like, it wasn't as big as it is now, of course, but like in those earlier years, I did think a lot about what our future together might look like. Again, it wasn't even about us being married or anything. I just knew that I wanted you to be there. Right. Yeah, and if you were going to be there, I was going to have to be a better person.
Period.
And when we were just spending this time together, when you really have a compelling future to look forward to, it makes you that much more aware of how you're being in the present. And that's one of those things that carried over from our early years into our marriage, and especially now.
Yeah.
Like we're so intentional about doing the work that we have to do now for what we're working toward 3 to 5 years down the line.
Yeah.
And now we've gotten so, I'm going to just say so good at this thing at this point to where we're extremely mindful of our being.
Yeah.
And not only just how we're being on the individual level, but how we're being in our marriage, how we're showing up in the other things that we do. Like we take so much more care of all of the things that we know are going to ultimately compound into what our future, what we desire it to be.
What it will be.
What it will be.
It will be.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
because of our intentionality.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
And going back to what I said in the beginning, I think we've done it for so long that, again, it's odd to me when I run across couples who don't do that or haven't done that.
Yeah.
It's like you don't really think about your future.
It's like, how is this not normal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it's so normal to us. So yeah, that it always has been odd to me because, again, it's so easy to think about just a car or kids or house or wanting to take vacations and have fun and stuff like that. But you got to take you with you in all of that.
Right.
You got to actually like the person that you're growing into and becoming. Like when you are having all of those experiences, what type of person you want to be when you get there?
Yes.
Do you still want to have that deeper connection with your spouse to where you're still crazy in love with each other, to where you're still falling for each other, to where you're still having a high level of respect and pride for what you've built together, like all of these things that actually make the accomplishments worth something.
Right.
Because you can buy the house and do the trips and do all of those things, but I feel like they only mean something based off of what you've actually built in the pursuit of those things.
Right.
And what you've established together. It's the connection, right? And being proud of the person that you've become in the journey, like on the journey.
Yeah.
Like the payoff is just the payoff. But there's a journey of becoming attached to that.
You know, I take pride in the fact that I have contributed to who you are today. Like that makes me proud. I'm like, I look at you and I be like, boy, we did that. We did that.
That only means something to a mug that know who I used to be before.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
That don't mean nothing to nobody who don't know 18-year-old Trone. Like
that's true. We did good though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, and even for people to be able to see who I guess they believe me to be today. I'm like, man, boss, y'all really don't know. Your boy was out there. Like, was different.
Yeah.
Was real different. Like, hood baby, for real.
For real. For real. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
but I love me some you. What?
And you just grew through all of it with me. And I think, that makes me so grateful knowing that I had somebody in my life and still have somebody in my life who's helped me grow and become this version of me, because, man, I ain't never been so freaking proud of who I am today, you know, and just knowing that, like, man, I know I was actually in the car on my way to work one day and I was talking to God and I was just like, Lord, thank you for all of the tests, all of the struggles, all of that stuff. Like, I am so appreciative at this point because it could have went another way.
Yeah.
I've dodged death more times than probably most people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I've dodged that. I've not allowed certain things, you know, to break me that I've had to experience. The fact that I still have my wife and my family intact. on top of all of the times, that I've lost myself, but I've been able to do the self work and with your help as well, like guide me through those moments where I was really trying to get me back, because I was so grateful of the fact that I've been willing to do the work every time.
Right.
And all of those hard moments, like it didn't break me, and I was still willing to do the work because I knew that there was a better version of me that I was working to become. And so like, it's so much gratitude there.
Yeah.
And then like, I've seen you do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like in your own ways. Like we've become so much, man. And I'm so grateful that our compelling future, the support that we have, behind each other and what we've built, the way God and carried us through things.
Listen.
I'm so glad that we've been able to do all of that together. We've been able to overcome all of these different battles, and that we're still chasing our desired future together, and we're just holding each other down all the way through it.
Absolutely. I love that for us.
Me too.
Like, honestly, because it just makes me think, I'm like, yeah, we have had like a lot of like life challenges and internal challenges that we've overcome together. And like, I'm grateful for that. But I think what makes me super grateful about it is the fact that it's never been like low level petty ass shit. Like, it's never been on some like, oh, you cheating, or oh, you're doing this, or oh, we arguing about dumbass shit. Like, did I just my curse words? I'm sorry. Like it's never been on no like that, or the real Adoria came out. No petty stuff though. Like it's been like we've been trying to overcome versions of us we were ready to leave behind.
Yeah.
Like it ain't never been like things that regular people argue about.
It's never been drama.
It's never been drama. Yeah, like it's never been drama. It's like, no, like we're trying to get somewhere, and we have to overcome things within ourselves, with things collectively to get to that. And I love that it's been on that wave forever.
Yeah, we've never had to overcome any type of drama ever.
Yeah, because like we don't entertain, and we've never entertained that. And everybody who's ever been around us know we don't entertain no bullshit, like at all, like that. So I love that we have that in our marriage too. It's like, no, we don't drama, we don't do that. But we have overcome versions of us that we probably not as proud of. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's one of those things, because it's like it's been an insecurity here, or it's been like a false belief here,
or childhood trauma,
or something like that. Like it's been things that we've created, those monsters in our head based off of our life experiences before, in the pursuit of trying to get to this bigger thing together and individually. And it's like, man, we're trying to get there, but like we're in the way.
We are in the way.
We're the ones that are in the way, and we're trying. And it's crazy because like we'll hop into books. Me, I'm buying a course. I get somebody's training, a coaching program, whatever, like be it church, be it whatever it is that we need to do. We would go to work, like getting more intentional about our fitness goals, whatever, changing up how we're doing our days and the environments we're spending time in.
Yes.
We would go to the extreme to resolve our own internal conflicts that are blocking us from where we're trying to be at.
Right.
And that's been the only types of struggles we've ever had to endure together. And it's never been around like, I don't like you hanging around this person, or you need to get rid of them, or somebody said something crazy or whatever. Like,
we don't entertain
that ain't never been us. And like you said, our biggest struggles have been us overcoming our humanness.
Yeah, that's true.
And even now, like we look at the things that we're in pursuit of, over the next 3 to 5 years, and we're still just overcoming us. It's like, all right, this is what we said the goal is. What do we need to do over the next 3 to 5 years to make sure that this happens?
Yes.
And so now we're like, all right, we got all of our systems in place. Now we need consistency.
Yes.
We need to do a certain type of activities day after day after day. This is how we're thinking. All right, so we need to make sure that our thoughts aren't conflicting with the actions that we know that we need to take.
Yes.
We've gotten over these character traits and habits or whatever, and we need to adopt these. How can we be able to manipulate our days to where we can make sure that we're successful in these habits that we need to have, and being hyper intentional about our character, our actions, and our habits, and all of these things? Like, it's different now.
It is.
And we realize that the real battles we have to face is internal, and we're helping each other overcome all of our internal battles, because we know that, man, like, nothing outside of us can stop us,
period.
And the only thing that even has the slightest remote chance is the stories that we make up inside of our own minds, and the ways that we try to hold ourselves back, and we just show up for each other the way it's like, nah,
let me snatch you up real quick.
Yeah, we gonna get rid of that and do what we know that we gotta do.
Yeah.
And that's where we at with it now. Like, nothing is stopping us from moving towards our future.
Absolutely.
Not even us. Especially not us.
Yes. Not even. Like, if I can't stop me, definitely ain't nobody else gonna stop
Trying
me.
to tell you.
Like, get kicked over.
And I think that that's why our marriage has been as amazing that it is, because we're always moving towards something together. And the dope thing about that is, when you're doing that, you're constantly changing. We're becoming new people.
Yeah.
We're learning to love and care for each other in new and different ways, because as we level up, we're having to get to know each other all over again. We're seeing that, like, hey, you know what? We used to be this way. Now we're moving this particular type of way. This used to be, the fact that we used to be, in the clubs and doing things like that. And now we thoroughly enjoy being outside.
Yes.
Little miss, I want to be a nature girl.
Nature girl.
Like, learning to be able to cater to each other's new interests and different things like that. So we're learning how to adjust our marriage and catering to each other's desires, wants, and interests and things like that in a new way. Now vacation's a little bit different. Or somewhere we can go to where we can be outside and actually enjoy views, or do something more active. Is it close to a gym? Is there some trails or something like that we can visit? Rather than it's like, what clubs and malls can we go to?
Right.
Like, it's just a whole new experience within our marriage, because the pursuit of our goals has changed us so much, and we're learning to love and care for each other in all of these new ways, and it keeps our marriage so fresh.
Absolutely.
That's it, man.
That's it.
That's life together.
It is. Like, I wish everybody could experience this in their own way.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I wish. Maybe our impact will help people do that.
All we can do.
Yeah.
And just hope that, I know we spend most of these times, talking about us and our experiences and things like that, but I hope people can sometimes, like, read through what we're saying and see how it actually impacts them and how it relates to wherever they are in their journey, because, we don't typically sit up here and just give direct, you should do this.
Yeah.
3 steps to do this. It's like, no, this is what our life is. And this is how we look at it, with the perspective that we have today and how we're growing through it. And if you're in a season that looks similar to ours, maybe we relate. Or if you've been in a season that looks like something that we've been through, this is how we've handled it. Or this is where we're growing to and how we're thinking about it now. And maybe that'll help in that particular type of way. But it's never like, this is what you should do. It's like, nah, this is what we're living right now. This is how we're thinking and experiencing it right now. And these are the thoughts and the beliefs that are serving us right now. And hopefully you're able to read into that and understand it in a way to where it's able to help you in some particular type of way.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. Yeah. But having said that, my love, any thoughts, any closing thoughts?
No, that was it.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Family, we hope you guys have enjoyed the episode, because we definitely enjoyed our conversation, because this is what we do. And it's also been a good time, man. Just having to be able to have these experiences and these conversations and be able to share them so openly, especially because we get to look back on them.
Yes.
And listen to them and check it out and just see what it was like in the process. You know what I mean? In the journey, in the pursuit.
Right.
But yeah, man, we hope you guys have gotten a lot of value out of this episode. And until next time, family, my name is John Trone. This is my beautiful queen,
Adoria.
We are one dope couple. And until next time, family, peace and love.